There's no better feeling than a personal win, and the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you do just that. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune in to Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. This is a PSA for Sports Talk with Sushi and Royce. There will be a shortened show this afternoon, maybe about 7 or 8 minutes, because prior to the off-air portion of 20 minutes was filled with profanity, horrible stories, and a whole lot more entertaining than you're going to hear in the next 40 minutes. Thank you.
Royce here for the dog that never poops.
That's right. They can breed all these other things. Why can't they breed that one?
Let's start cloning.
Yeah.
Who's going to coach the Vikings?
No.
Hell with Kenny. He wants to talk about movies.
No, I got to go home.
Okay.
Royce, do we do a spoiler alert here or not, or do we just come right up? First, I want to talk about the Tender Bar. Are you serious?
Oh, I thought that Affleck was terrific.
Affleck was great, but halfway through, when the kid goes to college,
Yeah,
and
that was a little boring.
his new college roommate says, "Let's get wasted." That's when I turned it off. I could not last.
Stick with it. It's great. It's great. Plus,
And then-
you had Christopher Lloyd. His grandpa was
It's
terrific.
way too sensitive.
No,
And
it was sensitive. He was a mean old SOB. It was great.
I had to balance things out by watching a Don Rickles documentary. But then after that, I discovered something that I think Such would like, called Red Oaks.
Which I've been plugging, yes.
So have you seen both seasons?
There's 3 seasons. Sir.
You've
What
seen
is
them
it?
all.
What's it
Yes,
about?
It's
Tell
about
'em, Pat.
a Jewish
Big
country
trees.
club in New Jersey in the early 80s.
Yeah.
And it's
86.
kind of a updated version of your favorite movie, but it's
What's my favorite movie?
It's pretty hilarious.
Bushwood.
Caddyshack?
Yeah, Caddyshack. Yeah.
But it's not as over the top as that. But it's they got some fabulous characters, and Paul Reiser, an aging Paul Reiser, plays the club president, who ends up in prison eventually. But the club president, who's
Reiser's funny.
fantastic,
Yeah.
the club president.
I have to
great.
keep reminding myself that I like Paul Reiser, and this isn't real because Reiser is really good as a guy you want to hate.
Well,
and then
but here's the best part. They go, who's the 80-year-old guy they have that's been a character actor forever? I don't know what his name is.
the old guy playing the dad, right?
No, the old guy playing the club member
Harold at the bar.
who's been there every day. The club.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
the guy. I told you. He's sitting in the pool and asking the kid, who's the hero of the thing, what he's going to do with his life. He's like 20. He says, I don't know. I mean, I'm still trying to figure that out. He says, you know what we did when we, people of my generation did when we were trying to find ourselves? We killed Nazis.
Yes.
That's probably Richard Kind, who's Sam Myers.
No,
Nope,
Richard
that's-
Kind
that's
was
the dad.
Was
Okay.
the hapless father of the
Yeah.
Freddie Roman, Herb.
Freddie Roman, Herb. Yeah. Herb.
How about the photographer, Patrick?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that guy just a dirtball, slimy,
He ends up
gross?
with the girl, though. What the
The
hell?
entire
Yeah.
Twin Cities is breathless that we fired Spielman and Zimmer.
And of course,
We're talking
Richard,
about Red Oaks.
Richard Kind is wonderful as the Jewish dad. He's just absolutely
Well,
fantastic.
everybody
Yeah.
who wants that character for the last 15 years has cast him as the hapless
So,
father.
Such, you need to go home, rush to
Amazon.
It's on Amazon, and look up Red
Do I
Oaks.
say it into the microphone?
Yeah, I suppose
Yes.
if that's your deal.
Jennifer Grey's in there from Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, I don't like her. I don't like her since the cosmetic surgery.
Got it.
Yeah, you can't tell. It's Jennifer Grey.
No, she looks very different.
What got
The
carved
nose.
up?
She got the bad honker.
The beak?
She got a little work on her face.
Very bad decision. Very bad decision.
Anyway, that's
Anyway, all right, Vikings.
Yeah.
Joe, this is the first. We never got a GM and a coach on the same day before.
No.
Never?
No. Well, one reason being, they had a Jim Finks was a GM. Bert Rose and Jim Finks were
Right.
GMs, and then in
Well, Denny was his own GM, right?
'74, and then Mike Lynn was his own GM, and they didn't have a GM really until Spielman was given the title in about 2010. So
Well,
they
who was
never
Red's
had-
GM?
Jeff Diamond?
Red.
Red had Jeff Diamond
Yeah.
for a while, and then Denny got Jeff Diamond fired.
Yeah.
And that Jeff was named 98. He was named the Executive of the Year at the NFL banquet, and among those not coming over to congratulate him was Denny.
Why did they not get along? Was it just a power thing?
Denny just wanted power. Yeah.
Sure.
I don't think it was because he disliked Diamond, and Diamond was a negotiator. He wasn't a personnel guy. They relied on Frank Gilliam and Reichow to get the players.
You know what the weird thing about this is? What a crapshoot this is. I mean, you could be entering the world of Detroit-like futility here for years.
No, they'd have too much talent to become Detroit.
Well, I mean,
We
you don't
wouldn't
know what you're
settle
going
for
to
that.
get.
We
No.
would not settle for that.
They will hire a 38-year-old head coach, and they're going to get a big old dartboard, Joe, and there's going to put 8 names on it. They're going to throw the dart, and they might be right, but there's a 70% chance they'll be wrong, right?
Yeah.
You know who I'd like to see them give a shot to, in all honesty? Andre Patterson as a head coach.
Not happening. Not
You don't
happening.
think so?
They're going to go young.
How about Glenn Caruso?
Glenn Caruso's, I would have said yes until I saw his former assistant coaching for the
This-
Chargers.
Yeah,
last
that was a
Freaking
bad
idiot.
timeout.
Oh,
Yeah, well, not only that, in the first half, they're third and a yard and a half. On what, their own 20, maybe?
it was inside their own 20.
Their own 20, Joe. And they're only down a point, I believe, at that point.
3.
Were they down 3?
Because I know exactly what you're bringing
Down
up.
3. And he runs into a brick wall, right? I mean, the guy got knocked back a foot, So on 4th down, he goes for it and runs the same identical
Same
play
exact
with
play.
the same identical result.
Fool me once.
And they give the ball. They give the ball to the opposition, the Raiders, at the 20-yard line.
Yeah.
And they go in and score.
And here's what I love about that, because I ripped him that night game that they played against the Chiefs, because he did the same damn thing in that game too, and everybody's lauding him. Oh, look at this progressive way of thinking.
Yeah.
You missed the playoffs because you're a moron.
Yes. And Joe, you didn't stay up and watch that whole game.
I didn't see
I'll
the
let you
end.
stay up.
It was. I don't think it ended until 11:40 or something.
Were you convinced that they were going to play for the
Yes.
tie?
I
I
thought-
was too.
I thought the coach from from Vegas was basically had kind of gestured, just let the clock run. Mm-hmm. And the guy calls a timeout. So he said, "Oh, okay. Well, we'll run one more play, see if we can get closer and kick a field goal."
And of course, it had to be Daniel Carlson.
I've said this. I've been saying this for years, though. I blame Spielman more than Zimmer for Daniel Carlson getting cut after they drafted him in the 5th round, Joe. And he had a horrible game in Green Bay. Second game of his career, and they cut him. Mm-hmm. And Spielman should have just said, Zim, take a hike. We can at least keep him on the roster for a month and see if he can get his head together. Now the guy has been in Las Vegas for 2 years and hasn't missed a field goal attempt in their stadium. And last night, no problem. So,
Well, this just boils down to they had to do something. I mean, I'm a Zimmer guy, but they had to do something.
oh yeah, he knew he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
He knew he was gone.
So what happens? Is it that he loses the room like in hockey with lines, or is it because they have Kirk Cousins and he throws 12-yard passes?
No, I think it's just the fact that
He just has to be the blame guy.
The defense won't take. Well, you got You can't let a guy stay forever. They went to Philadelphia the Sunday after the Minneapolis Miracle
Should have won.
and no-showed.
Yep.
Got their asses kicked 38-7. And since then, they were in the playoff once, and they had one winning season. And since what's the record since the Minneapolis Miracle? I think they're under 500.
I think they were. I can't remember.
How did they produce that first half yesterday? And then
it was,
what?
it was awful.
It was terrible. And then the second half was brilliant.
Yeah. I said, this is a Twitter quip, of course.
You were full of them this
I
weekend,
said,
by the way.
The Vikings played the first half for themselves and the second half for Zim.
How do you know it's not the other way around?
Or vice versa. We don't know which, We don't know which. But it was like the Bears also woke up at halftime and said,
we stinks.
We stinks, and do we want to cost ourselves a draft choice by tying these guys?
Well, that's the part about the Bears I don't understand, because remember, they don't even have their first round pick this year.
Oh, really?
Because they traded it to the Giants to move up to draft Fields last year.
Did they now have to go find a coach who can get along with Cousins?
I think Cousins is gone.
It'll be interesting
How?
to see what they
I
do
thought he
with
makes
that.
too much money and isn't that
40,
good?
$45 million.
Well, the way it'll work, Rook, is there's going to be probably half a dozen teams that are going to be in desperate need for a quarterback, and someone will renegotiate his contract once they trade. Like Pittsburgh, I'm just picking a team arbitrarily. Pat had suggested Cleveland, but a team like Pittsburgh that's going to be looking for a quarterback, and then they'll renegotiate his contract. Because the Vikings need to just start over.
I hate to say this because I'm paranoid on the subject, obviously, but there are more, Joe, this year, more hardcore Cousins fans than we've ever had here.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And I mean, even his first year, there's a lot of people that are really in on his stats and are really outspoken about how great he is. I think it's political.
You do?
I think it's
Vaccine related?
I think it's vaccine related. And the
Interesting.
hardcore, I think the hardcore believers in him who you didn't see nearly as many of last year are the anti-vax crowd who want to support him.
How come I had
But
such...
I'm just paranoid too.
How come I had such the wrong idea about getting Jefferson his record? Why you guys
Who gives a damn?
See, I'm surprised you all think that.
17
I wanted him to
games,
get it.
Joe.
So, okay, what
wanted
did
him to get
Moss do it in? 14?
16.
16.
But, if he sets the record in 16 games, good. But it's also, Joe, a record that none of us were aware of
Until 2 weeks ago. Yeah, right.
until 10 minutes ago. Until the second half.
I did not,
It's
right.
the single season team records. Who's the passing leader?
Peyton Manning, maybe?
No. Single season team Viking record.
Oh, Viking record.
Single season I'm talking about.
Well,
idea.
It's probably Kirk, honestly. For yards.
I wonder how much money was at stake if he set the record.
Nothing.
Because he's still on his rookie contract.
You see what Brady did for Gronk?
But that
Went against the coach's wishes to get Gronk $1 million.
$500,000.
$500,000.
But
That's
the
what he'd
difference
keep after
is
taxes.
Gronk is a veteran who signed an incentive-laden deal, and Jefferson's on his rookie contract.
No, I didn't see that Arians didn't want him throwing. Huh?
No.
Well, he insisted on staying in the game, right? They were going to take him
Yeah,
out.
they were going to take him out.
What do you want? Single season passing leaders for the Vikings?
Yeah.
2018, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I thought it was Kirk.
And then you got a couple of Warren Moon, 95, 94, Kramer, Tark, Kramer.
So
Who cares?
who knows?
Who cares?
That's what I'm saying.
Right, it's
Who
an
cares?
irrelevant
Why did it
stat.
become such a big deal?
When did he start wearing the what do you call it? The grill on the sidelines. I noticed that yesterday.
Who?
Jefferson.
Oh,
I
yeah, I
didn't
saw
even
that. Yeah,
notice
he had
I
that.
didn't see the grill.
He
I
had
thought,
the
did he have
grills in.
braces? My daughter said, no, he's got a grill in.
What's that mean?
He's,
You know the
Jewelry in
shiny.
your teeth.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'd be a little
but I
dangerous.
do love the people saying, well, as soon as he can, he'll be getting out of here. He's going to demand a trade in 2 years. Shut up.
yes, please be
Give him
quiet.
his money, he'll stay.
Right.
Yeah.
This is not
It's not
the
complicated.
NBA. This is not other sport. This is get your money. It's like the NHL. Get your money, stay.
Pat, I don't know if you know this, but people like to bitch. They just do.
Your two farm tents.
is, as much as I like to be a community guy who tries to bring the community together.
Yes,
Absolutely, you're devoted to that.
On Twitter and stuff, it is really frustrating to see all the negativity.
Yes.
I was telling somebody else this. The Timberwolves just won 3 in a row against bad teams, but they beat them by 100, right? They just killed everybody. And Towns played really good, and Edwards played really good, and even Russell played really good. And the other night, they're winning by 40, and I looked at my Twitter account, and trending was Beasley. So you looked it up, and people were complaining about Beasley, Michael Beasley, the guy who doesn't like people stopping in front of his house,
Oh, yeah.
Had been 1 for 8 on threes. Why don't we worry about the guy that was the night Edwards was 5 for 5 in the first quarter?
Joe, you remember not Michael Beasley, Malik Beasley, because he was.
This is Malik Beasley.
Yeah,
Michael Beasley.
Malik Beasley is the guy that when he got into a little trouble with the law, we found out that he had one room in his home devoted to smoking pot.
But rules.
But it was away from the kids.
Right.
There was a child in the place, and you cannot smoke your pot in front of the child.
That's
Is
right.
there a little plaque? With the,
Go to
how
the
they,
pot room.
How do you know on Twitter if something's trending?
It'll be off to the side.
Off to the side. And I think it has to be a full like on an iPad or something.
I see nothing trending.
I don't think you get that on your phone. I don't see. Have you? You're not even sending out one a day, are you anymore?
Well, he was reminiscing about the Raider Viking game
45 years ago last night, I was sitting in the Rose Bowl hacking out a column.
Last night?
Yeah.
And tomorrow, I believe, is the anniversary, when you're looking it up, of their first loss to Kansas City. I think it was January 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
In 1970.
Think of that. 45 years ago last night, which concluded the regular season, was the freaking Super Bowl.
I also concluded that the reason I was one of the fastest writers of my era was I feared earthquakes.
In
Rose Bowl.
In the Rose Bowl.
Or anytime I was in L.A.
That is one of the guy sitting next to me from the, actually it was from the St. Paul paper then, because I was in Minneapolis. When the earthquake happened at Candlestick, was Tom Powers.
Yeah.
I wished it was you.
Yeah. I would.
You would have taken it very well.
I would have jumped out of the press box.
You would have taken it very well.
Powers really didn't care.
No, Powers says to me, "What's that?" And there was a jumbo jet in this beautiful blue sky right over the top of us, and I pointed to the, thinking the jumbo jet, and then about 2 seconds later, it's going like that, and he suggested it was not a jumbo jet in very strong and profane terms.
Very direct. And because of that.
Not that he needs to channel any other cantankerous sports writer, but feeling extra salty, we now present Royce's Tom Powers moment.
That was a great bit we came up.
Why did he come up earlier today? Off the air before we recorded GL? Or were you maybe commenting on the Super Bowl tweet?
Kenny brought it up.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, that was I didn't go to the Raiders one. I didn't get it. I only did the before I became a columnist. The only one I went to was the one against the Steelers.
I did 2 of the 4 losses.
2, yeah.
Steelers and Raiders.
And
I wasn't in the business when they lost to Hank
I was
Stram.
looking it up.
I hate the Raiders one.
I'd forgotten that they blocked the first block of a Ray Guy punt in history. He only had 3 in his whole career. It was Freddie McNeil blocked his punt, middle of the first period. Vikings recovered it on the 2. And we decided to trick him. Instead of giving it to Foreman, gave it to Brent McClanahan, and he fumbled. And there was an ass kicking the rest of the day.
Damn, I hate that.
That was
I
the
hate
Rose
that
Bowl,
game.
though, right?
Yeah.
I would have loved to have been there. I love that.
I was at
stadium.
Saints West roller skating. Keeping my eye on it.
You didn't. So you didn't care enough about your Vikings then?
I think at that point the parents were like, maybe go roller skating so we can
Well,
watch
you
the
were
Super
what?
Bowl.
7.
Yeah, I was just a kid. What year
but
was
what
it?
a country! They kicked off at 1:00 in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
It was great. And then they started creeping later and later and later. And Now it's like midnight if you're
Pat,
lucky.
now you're going to have a 3-day weekend of playoff games because you're going to have a Monday night.
They're making some 2 poor teams play on a Monday night, even to put them at great disadvantage.
See if I have it here.
It's the Rams and San Francisco on Monday night.
Again, they're going to have the rematch on Monday night. I suppose.
Arizona at the Rams.
Here we go.
Arizona at the Rams, yeah. Okay, so then that's remember Joe and I go back far enough to remember when the Mondays, when it was considered a great disadvantage. Remember to play on Mondays? The guys doing the gambling touting and say, well, they had to play Monday.
I am in conversation and contemplating making the drive to attend the Saturday night game.
In Buffalo?
New England at Buffalo.
Well, I'm just going to say,
what's the weather for?
I'm saying a novena that they get a blizzard.
Well,
let's look it up.
Even if they don't get a blizzard, you're going to get your snow effects.
Yeah.
Well, you got the Calcutta Clipper to worry about in Buffalo, as
And
Denny
the
told
good
us.
news is the Buffalo fans have started drinking.
Already.
The parking lot is full.
You got weather chances, Vegas at Cincinnati. You got weather chances, New England at Buffalo. You have no weather chance, Philadelphia, Tampa Bay. You got no weather chance, Frisco at Dallas. You have slim weather chance, Pittsburgh at KC, and virtually no weather chance, Arizona at Rams.
I think Cincinnati might have been, believe it or not, the coldest football game I ever covered. The San Diego Chargers with the highfalutin, tremendous offense with the coach Don Coryell.
Don Coryell and Dan Fouts.
And Dan Fouts going to play Cincinnati.
Kellen
and it was
Winslow.
like 10 below zero.
Yep.
They just froze to death that day, and Cincinnati beat them and then went to that Super Bowl. So it had to be 82.
Obviously, this could change, but right now it looks like it's going to be 25 as a high, 7 as a low next Saturday with no chance of precipitation currently. That may change.
That can change because
That's right.
Yeah, we got climate change.
Mm-hmm.
So that could happen.
Swings up.
There's great Coryell stories about his focus on football. He was somewhat focused on football.
What's the one with the kid in the car?
The kid in the car, like his first grade daughter is in the car, and he's taking her to school, and he drives out to the football complex, and she says, "Dad, this isn't school." He has to drive
He was
back.
very focused.
Then there's another one. The wife has him throw 2 bags of garbage into the trunk, and all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, he's, "Geez, what stinks here? This is out in San Diego," and the trunk has still got the garbage in it. He was.
I understand the weather pattern. Pick up the Calcutta Clipper, swings down, swings up,
swings up.
front influence, and out.
Yep.
When was that? What game was that?
Well, they were going to Buffalo.
Wasn't it
to
a
play
Buffalo game?
when he was coaching Arizona.
Oh, okay.
And so
he
he
didn't
was
do the Calcutta Clipper with us?
No, he was with the Cardinals, and he did it because he was referencing. I know this because of my time in Minnesota.
Because you come out of
he
Alberta.
swings down and swings up.
and then
No
there's
idea.
a front.
And then to the
Denny
victor comes the spoils.
Denny, I have come to appreciate the fact that he was a great agitator.
Oh yeah.
He was we thought we were agitating him, but he was agitating us about 80%.
It was a draw.
It was a draw. 80%.
Well, and
of the
you
time.
know this because you were one of the members of the cabal, right?
No, I was not.
I thought it was you.
It was Powers, Barrero, and Sansevier. That was my opinion.
Oh.
But if it wasn't those 3, then it was Sid was the other one. So that's I don't know if the cabal was ever officially named, but
Was a lot of finger pointing in the press
was.
box as to who was involved.
it was it's amazing. That's one of the funniest things of all time. I always thought it was Andrea Kramer, but it was Vesser, the woman that he told that to. Leslie Visser.
Leslie Visser. Okay.
Yeah, Leslie Visser that he told about the cabal before the game in Giant Stadium when he thought he was going to get beat and get fired. And that's when they had the miracle
That's what
comeback.
saved his job.
He punted with 2.5 minutes to go and 10 points behind and won the game.
Oh.
Remember that?
Is it official that the Super Bowl is moving to Dallas, or is that still up in the air?
I don't know that I've seen anything
Why
official.
are we going to move it?
The league fears that the COVID rules will be too impactful at SoFi. Stadium.
in California.
Distancing and masking and this and that. and the other.
We're in Texas. It's come on in.
Come on in. What the hell?
Yeah.
You got a shot. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So they're going to pull out of San Francisco.
Well, that's the L.A.
Los Angeles.
That's the
L.A.
that's the talk, but I haven't seen anything recently.
Well,
Do you know enough about this Jack LaFontaine of the Gophers?
Man.
Is this a big deal?
he was their goalie.
He's their best goalie in the league, isn't he?
Played 95% of the time.
Yeah, he went and signed with Carolina.
I asked Judley about that. He follows that stuff. And apparently their backup goalie is hurt in Carolina, and their 2 top minor league goalies are hurt. And they don't have any other prospects. So they came and talked him into signing and leaving the Gophers in the middle of the season, thus violating a gentleman's agreement that they have with the colleges not to sign a guy during the season. So
Unless you're extremely desperate.
the last time they did that was the Islanders signed that Oposo. Remember that?
Kyle Oposo?
Yeah, they signed him, and they're saying that they didn't like how the Gophers were developing him in 2007 or 8. But this came out of nowhere. I called over there to check on it today, and apparently Coach Motzko was in talking to the team, telling them that one player cannot ruin a season. So.
But
if
the
one
goalie is
player
pretty.
if a one player can ruin the season, it's the goalie.
Right. See, as we're getting that speech, if I'm a player and we're given that speech, I am the athlete, the guy that's going to say, but coach, but if it were one player, the goalie would probably be at the front of the line.
Or you'd say, do you really think this guy who hasn't played all season can do it?
That was first team All-America last year.
If it's not a problem, why hasn't this guy played it?
John out there.
The only games he played were against St. Thomas and the U.S. under-18 team. How come he hasn't played?
By the way, it's not going to matter.
What?
My Mavs. No one's beating my Mavs this
Your
year.
Mavs.
They
this
are
is
good.
their year.
Again, we're not talking
How many
Except
Canadians
your
they got?
coach. If I were a Mavs fan, I would be very upset that my coach is running off to China for 2.5
That
weeks to
is
be an
odd.
assistant. You got a
Really?
chance to win it, and him and the St. Cloud coach are going to China as assistants. I got to tell Hastings, sorry, you're not going to China, not coming back till April if you get COVID.
Who's going to be their players?
Some college kids, some guys in the minors who are not.
I'd be so relieved if I was an NHL player. I wouldn't want to go there.
Would you go there to cover it?
No.
Joe, we have no Canadians on our roster this year. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we do have one. Stephen Bellini. He is from Sault Ste. Marie.
Oh, the Sioux.
And
That's virtually Michigan.
Wooger wouldn't have any of those godless.
No.
He not only wouldn't he have any godless Canadians, he
Canadians.
wouldn't have any non-Minnesotans.
We also have a sophomore
No
from the Czech
Wisconsin guys?
Republic on our roster
You
this
could
year.
have a kid from Fargo who wanted that too far
Yeah,
away.
right. It's across the border.
Across
Forget
the
it.
border.
Oh, we got
take it.
a Yerman too.
Who's
Do
a
we know
German?
anything about Kasparov? Kaprizov, whatever his
He's
name
Separated
is.
gonna play
shoulder,
their
right?
They're off for a week, as you
Right.
pointed out the other day. That he's going to play when they come back. It isn't that serious.
I think they play Friday here.
The NHL said nothing wrong with that hit, huh?
I can't believe that. With the puck sitting right there, and he went for the body right
They
off
got the duck this Friday. Now, we got
This
Alabama
Friday?
and Georgia tonight.
Tonight, yes.
Georgia doesn't have a prayer, do they?
Yes.
They do?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they just got the
They
crap
were-
beat out
I
of
know,
them by
but they
Alabama.
were the favorites last time.
Boy,
But
it'll be a good game.
I heard this promo yesterday on the radio or someplace saying, in the most unpredictable of college football seasons, blah, 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 tune in Monday night for Alabama versus Georgia. Yeah, okay.
Or just like we had last
yes, yeah, just like we expected. You know,
Back to the Wild quickly.
I
though.
might not even watch.
Oh, it'll be a good game.
I know, but
Where's
I don't
it being
care.
played?
Indianapolis.
I don't care.
I want
In
want
fact,
outdoors.
I think Kirby Smart might be a bigger jackass than Nick Saban.
Really quick, Rick, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
There was a reporter, I think it was maybe Pat Forty, that was
Yes.
on the flight to Indianapolis, and the pilot over the loudspeaker said, I know there's a lot of Georgia and Alabama fans on this flight. If there's any fighting, I'm flying this plane to Auburn. That was a great line.
That was pretty good. Yes. Yes.
I was just going to say earlier, back to the Wild. The Wild will do very well if other teams continue to score on themselves.
Yes.
Never saw that before.
I have an update from Woodbury, by the way.
What do you got?
I got a taunting text message from my grandson.
Oh.
I'll chip off the old block there, huh,
Saying,
Gramps?
where is it?
Taunting.
Yeah.
He said, Grandpa Patrick, I'm still not a jinx. I went to the game this night and they won. I've been to 3 games and they have won every one. I think my jinx has been reversed.
I think so.
And then I said, you taking credit for that phony first goal? You're now the jinx for the other team. And he said, ha ha. But he's 3-0 this year after being 0-8 for his career.
Is Dad a season ticket holder?
No, I think he's in on it.
He knows some people.
Yeah,
but this poor kid, as he's falling asleep at night, looking at the ceiling, it's weighing heavy on him that Grandpa Patrick has called him the jinx, and he's
Woodbury,
just trying to get over it and
yes.
sleep.
Well, I'm proving my grandfatherliness by riding up the War Road this weekend to watch
this is the weekend.
Watch him play an 11-year-old hockey. Which
is that one of those weekends where you got to root they lose the first game?
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Well, you got to root at least that they don't get to the finals.
You don't want the Sunday
afternoon.
4
The Sunday 4 o'clock?
No.
Yeah,
You ain't getting home till Tuesday.
You don't want that. You do not want that. That's when you got to
I don't know
special.
what are we going to get snow?
I was just going to say, especially if we get a Calcutta Clipper, you're going to be stuck up there for a while.
I think
That's
we're going to be in
right.
the 30s or 20s.
You know what I
Thursday,
told you
Friday.
this before. They on the War Road River, they have plowed out
a
and
skating canal.
maintained a
Yes.
5-mile
Yes.
skating canal. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be fantastic.
Yes.
And I
That's what I've
think
always
I
wanted in
would.
the Twin Cities.
I think I would take advantage if I could skate.
If you
which
could, yeah, I
But
would
walking it in like shoes like this is probably not.
Not
the
a
way
good
to go.
idea.
That's
no.
where Boucher learned how to
Yes.
skate fast. Remember, he
I-
said,
I
"Well, when
gotta-
you heard the ice cracking."
I got to call Henry this week and see if he's up there or
Yeah.
not because he lives here and then he lives back there.
Yeah, I would say if you go walking, you'd probably need to get yourself.
When
some
is the
moves.
departure? Friday?
Thursday evening
Thursday
because
evening.
we have to stop in Duluth 9 a.m. to see the girl play a hockey game
On Friday morning.
Friday morning and then drive the 4.5 hours to War Road.
Wow.
Don't miss those days of hockey tournaments.
Well,
away from
this
the
will be a
weekend.
once-in-a-lifetime
This is
experience
it.
for me.
Ruck,
This is
let me
so
ask you a
true.
question because you worked with these two guys for a long time.
Yeah.
What would you think would be a more interesting ride, doing the 2 hours to Duluth and 4 to Warrow with Patrick, or the 7 with Souchere from Nashville to Florida? Which route do you think would be more entertaining?
Well, I would think you would rather go with Such because you can go out, you can get out and pull off to the road and do whatever. Because it's not going to be 28 below zero
Right.
like it was in.
But both men having a high level of craziness while commuting, because I've driven,
Well,
just
there's some impatience.
Brainerd, just going to Brainerd and back.
There's some
it's just-
impatience.
Yeah.
And here's the thing with the 11-year-old in the car. Now he knows all the words, but you still shouldn't be expressing them.
That's
You
true.
know,
That's
with
true.
Out of the way, yeah.
with him
idiot.
in there. You shouldn't be just saying. Just whatever comes to your mind. You can't say whatever comes to you. You can't say whatever comes to your mind. Right?
Edit. You need to self-edit.
I can't tell
Yeah.
you the amount of money I would pay to have Rook behind Joe on a long car ride, agitating the hell out
love
of
to
him
take
the
that
entire
ride.
way.
Oh, God. I'd go
And I
crazy.
just filmed the entire thing.
You should be
Kicking the
doing
seat.
commercials for Rook's rivals, Allegiant Airlines. They saved your life.
Oh, what a deal.
Saved his life.
Got home, man. That was a break.
How's things with the mothership? Do we got the computer straightened out?
Computer straightened out. I was there
All
today. No cancellations.
Good.
She's a well-oiled machine.
That's good.
She's looking good.
By the way, Rook, there was I don't know what newspaper, but they had an illustration of flights and flight times and people staying there, and then next to the flight times were the odds.
That was a cartoon.
Yeah, if the flights are actually going to take
That's
off
pretty
or
good.
not.
That's pretty good.
What's going to happen to that industry? 28,000 flights have been canceled.
I know, but people are still
Well, are
flying.
people feeling it? Is that what?
If they come into work, they should be feeling it. Reggie or whoever that was, if you come into work,
I wasn't feeling it, man.
Reggie, where were you yesterday?
I wasn't feeling it.
I just wasn't feeling it. What the hell? You got to come to work every day.
Sounds
It
like
can't be you're feeling it.
sounds like the late great Gary Olson when he was when I was his sports editor.
Oh, yeah.
And I used to say, Gary, I know you're going to take your 12 sick days. Just give me a heads up.
Let me know, right.
But give me a heads up.
Is he
when
the
you're gonna
guy
be
that
sick.
told you that you're a dummy for not taking
I
them?
said, you know, I have not had a sick day in 21 years. He said, that's because you're a bleeping idiot.
In fact, Pat, when Rookie's friend at the airport was telling us the story about I'm just not feeling it, Kenny then told Joe, we can do that?
That's what'll happen. Just don't show up for work. Come to work the next day and ask if you can leave early.
Now, is our
There's
guy
just no-
Kenny, he's just up there in the woods all day long?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Grilling in his
Never
underwear.
been happier.
And is Mrs. Olson up there, too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
they sold their place here.
I think she's a rural type.
Well, good. But being stuck up there with Kenny and nowhere to walk to would be, you can't say, hey, I got to go to the store.
Well, he explained that the key to a lasting, loving, and successful relationship is spending as much time apart as possible.
Yeah, but if they're up there in the woods, I don't know, or in the field.
No,
Not much of an escape.
Pat, no. See, when they watch the same show, they do it in separate rooms.
Yes.
And then text each
You
other.
could text each other.
Unlike Orville and his wife, who would watch separate shows in the
Right
same
next to
room.
each other.
Never figured out how that worked. God, I miss him.
Yeah.
Oh, Big O was the best.
Stretch that word out.
Pat, wasn't he the one that discovered you when you brought your filter in to the Menards when he was working
Yes, he was
parts?
working at the Menards, and I had to bring my filter with to make sure I bought the
He
right
hauled the filter with him.
This
You know, a
side
guy
in.
could just have wrote down the number.
one. Yeah, but I didn't
This
trust.
side in.
I want 4 of these right here. 4 of these. So we were having the den painted, right?
Oh, boy.
boy.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Including the bookshelves,
Yeah.
which has the oversized TV attached to the,
Wall.
so it kind of expands.
Okay.
The original place where you put it, it now has to be on one of those boing deals.
A mount.
Yeah.
That's
One
a
of those
boing
what?
deal.
One of those boing, mount. You got to have it mount. So
Well, they're
it's
not
out-
supposed to be springy.
Well, you can push it a little, twist it a little bit around.
Around
you
if
know.
you feel.
For those of you at home, that was a
Yeah,
thing.
one of those
Yes,
dealy
one of
boomers.
those deals.
And they, you got to take it off the paint, right? I went
Well,
down
it's
there this
tough.
morning and they had it off, and I said, "Glad you guys got that off there because I cannot screw in a light bulb, fellas." So we would never. That would have never gotten out of there if
It
we
would
were
have been fun to
relying
have
on
just
me.
paint around it. Paint around it and have the original when you took it down. Like, oh, that's
Yeah.
best I could do.
That's the
Slightly
way it
better in 2022.
Well, we did find some interesting stuff, though, when we cleaned out that bookshelf,
Wait.
including, as I said on Twitter, I'd like to thank all those people who send us Christmas cards from 2012 that we did not respond to. They were all in a little pack back there. Somehow they got thrown in the back.
Reaver's
Nobody
cleaning their
opened
place,
it.
and Reaver's cleaning their place, so he hand delivered last year's card to me.
Yeah,
we go.
hey, I forgot to bring this in
I
for you.
appreciate it.
I think we just gave up on trying. We used to wait to see who we got them from and then mail one
And then
out.
return one out.
Damn, is the mail slow now, Joe? As you and I, a guy.
What are we going to once a week?
Hardcore mail
Well, it's
guy.
been designed by Yogi Berra. You're still going to get your mail on time. It's just going to take longer.
That's true.
That's what the United States Postal Service.
We
That's
got
a
to go
Yogi
to
Berra
one once a
line.
week.
Well, that's because
You realize that mail used to be delivered twice a day?
What?
I think it was before my time even.
I
but
see
twice
my
a
guy
day.
rolling in about 5:30 at night. They got them fellas working some
Yeah,
long shifts.
You got the
out there.
headlight going and the.
Yeah, they got working some long shifts, man.
But see, we're the last of a breed that even cares about the mail.
Well,
Or the newspaper where
you
I
know
had to
what?
deliver.
If you write somebody out a check, they never steal your information.
Right.
If you pay them online, yeah, who you don't know. There's some guy in Afghanistan buying weapons with your credit card.
Right.
You know.
I like the stamps, the whole thing. You know, I like it.
I just like the security of
Me too.
a check.
But there's not a lot of mail being delivered anymore, I don't think.
We get a ton.
because payments are online and all that stuff, so you're not getting the
Boy,
regular
if
bill.
you still get your stuff by mail, though, they plead with you not. They plead with you to go online and
paperless?
pay everything. Go online.
A lot of my mail it ends up wet because the CP is so dismissive of the mail that he throws it in, and sometimes it'll spill over into her driving lane. She just drives right over it.
I got it. I still have my Star Tribune check mailed to me, right?
So do I.
I have it mailed to me.
I'm the last
I
one.
didn't get one for like, it was like 2-3 weeks late. And then I got it. It was sliced in half.
Oh.
It was the sorting machine sliced her in
no.
half. But somehow they found the address on it and mailed. See, they care about
they
you.
do care.
Do you think the people online care about
No,
you?
they don't
Bleep,
care. They want to
no.
steal
They just
your
want to steal
identity
your
and
stuff.
your money.
Yes, that's right. That's they can't be trusted.
So I pulled this up knowing Pat was coming in today. Pat was nice enough when I first became a father. He purchased the book for me, Toddlers Are Bleep Holes.
Right.
And so because of that, I found this video over the weekend in which a mother, I don't know if you guys have seen this, a mother, and I don't know if she worked in the news business, but she files a live report of her 2-year-old son throwing a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
It's hysterical. It's only a minute long. Are you guys ready?
Kayla Sullivan reporting live from outside my son's bedroom where he's currently being detained until nap time is over. Now, this story does involve a minor, so I can't release specifics, but what I can confirm is my son is a 2-year-old terrorist who held me hostage at the Olive Garden earlier today. It's important to note the friends I met there do not have children and likely never will after witnessing the situation firsthand. This is an active investigation, but authorities believe the proper precautions
some
were
mom
taken.
just pretending to be a
I brought
news
my
guy?
son's favorite snacks and even risked judgment from other moms by bringing an iPad. But not even Cocomelon could have stopped this meltdown. After several cries demanding, quote, "Ketchup! Ketchup!" a Good Samaritan waitress miraculously understood it as the English word ketchup and brought him a bottle. Unfortunately, her good deed was later punished after he threw a ketchup-covered fork at her. Not all heroes wear capes, but this one should have worn an apron. You know, these toddler outbursts are becoming increasingly common as more and more parents try out the new craze, gentle parenting, and completely suck at it. I'll keep trying. Back to you.
I thought it was pretty good.
It is, and it is. I was a few years, 3-4 years ago, I was in one of those, they were a little older then. I mean, younger then, but they were all of a sudden 3 and 5, and it's just like craziness, and you're saying, what happened?
2 to 4 is
Who's bad?
2 to 4 is a bit
caused
troubling.
this?
Oh,
What
yeah.
caused this?
Jekyll and Hyde.
Nothing happened.
No.
Nothing happened.
The older
Nothing
one-
happened in your life to change it, so why are you now a complete jackass?
Right. The older one wasn't too bad. The young one, oh man, did we have some battles between the ages of 2 and 4. That was
It happened just like this.
overnight. Overnight, he just changed. It was bizarre.
Oh, and the kid next door was over. He made his early Christmas visit. Mom and Dad and everything, and receiving gifts, and suddenly you wanted to send him to the orphanage. Yeah. But what happened? What happened? I don't get it.
Is this the one you told the blue paint joke to?
No, this kid, he's only 2.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He's only 2.
It's too complex for him right now.
True.
That'll lay it on later in life.
I got to write it down.
I think we're good.
I do too, Sonny.
Zim, goodbye, Zim.
See you, Zim.
That kid, the one-eyed pirate. It was interesting. I hope the gal sticks with you and you have a good time down at the farm in Kentucky. EcoFun has e-bikes in stock. And why is that important? Because every other bike retailer is out of stock and will not be getting new e-bikes until December or January. You can't even get one for Christmas from them. The weather is warming up, so if you are in the market for an e-bike, scooter, or ATV, go to EcoFun right now. EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake. Talk with Tim Bloom, the owner of EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake. Tim and his family will help you select the e-bike that is right for you, and they will deliver it to your front door in the metro area. Right now, EcoFun has Bentelli e-bikes and Yamaha Motor Assist bikes in stock. EcoFun also carries the full line of Yamaha scooters, motorcycles, and a wide variety of Yamaha ATVs, including ATVs for kids. Check out EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake and online at ecofunmotorsports.com and tell Tim that old bicycler Patrick Racy sent you.
Hey, GLers, it's Reavers here once again for Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. And as you've been hearing over the course of the last couple of months, Josh asks you one simple question, and that's always, do you know what you own? You see, Josh's clients, they always know what they own, and Josh has found that most people that he meets with every single day, well, they don't. They absolutely have no idea. Josh has also seen retirement portfolios that have a big percentage in bonds, and there are real instances of people paying more in commissions and fees than they can possibly make on the rate of return that those bonds currently yield. So Josh begs of you, know what you own. And you'll hear from Mr. Money Talk later today here in Garage Logic to give you a specialized report on the goings-on in the market today. Trust is often overused, and it's even harder to find. Please, you can take it from me that you can trust Josh. So give him a call today for that free 48-minute financial consultation, and you do so by calling 952-925-5608. Once again, that's 952-925-5608 for Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold.
It's time for your New Year's resolution. We all spent a lot of money during the holidays, and I can help you save some money too. Do what I did. Call the Canopy Group. They shopped over 16 insurance companies, increased my coverage greatly, and saved me over $600 annually. I procrastinated and wish I had done this a decade earlier. Now I'm part of the Canopy Group's annual process. I do not have the time, interest, or knowledge to shop 16 different companies for my home and auto insurance. Do me and yourself a favor. Don't procrastinate. Make this your New Year's resolution. Call the Canopy Group and get the best insurance coverage and save money. You will be off to a wonderful new year. Go to thecanopygroup.com. That's thecanopygroup.com.